Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna take a quick break from the Keltitia region and instead redesign some Ultra Beasts. Now the Ultra Beasts are some of my favorite designs of all time, just of how weird and ethereal looking they are. However, that's exactly why a lot of people don't like them, saying things like, oh, that doesn't look like a Pokemon, or it's so unnatural, or why does my mosquito look like a straight up dude? But that's the point, they're aliens. They're not meant to look like regular Pokemon. But if it's what the people want, why not? You saw the thumbnail, so you already know what we're doing. Today I'm going to redesign the Ultra Beasts into regular old Pokemon. And if you're new, hey, you can call me Little Yoga Man, and let's pop into the first design. Get it? Pop? We're doing Blacephalon first. Now, this creepy clown has always, and probably will, continue to be my favorite Ultra Beast. It's definitely one of the more uncanny ones, with no discernible face and moves like it's dancing in the wind. Well, you didn't come to see me gush on about the Ultra Beasts, unless you did, in which case, thank you! Anyways, let's get on to the design. So yeah, first we're just getting the basic shape of what I want it to be down. First, the biggest change that I'm making here is giving it an actual face and making the proportions more accurate. The dots on its face could resemble the Dia de los Muertos painted skulls. Sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. Its proportions are also going to be much more Pokemon-like and less skinny and weird. It's going to be tossing a flaming Oranberry instead of its exploding head, because that just seems more natural. Adding more Blacephalon's colors and patterns. It looks more like a jester than an actual clown now, because jesters usually are less creepy than the clowns. Anyways, say hello to Blacephalon, the entertainer Pokemon, a fire and ghost type. These Pokemon are as mischievous as they are intelligent. They work in pairs, while one distracts the people or Pokemon, usually by juggling flaming berries, the other steals the audience's food. Since it isn't an Ultra Beast anymore, it doesn't seem right to give it Beast Boost, so it has Aftermath instead, because, well, Bomb Face. I also combined it with, as said prior, the Day of the Dead, with the face resembling painted skulls. I personally don't think I like it as much as regular Blacephalon, but maybe you do, so let us continue. This Ultra Beast I wanted to use was Guzzlord. While it doesn't look as alien as some of the others, the sheer size and destructive capability makes it somewhat off-putting. So what if it were a tiny guy instead? It already has a lot of crab elements, so why not that? And instead of a smaller head on top, we could reference sea urchins riding on top of a crouched shell. Let's get designed. Just like Blacephalon, it starts out with just getting the basic shapes I wanted. The sea urchin is just going to be a fuzzy little guy on top, kind of resembling Joltik. Instead of having a giant trash compactor mouth, it's just a tiny little underbite. Just getting the outlines done and the basic shape around. It's gonna have more crab-like elements, like pincers coming out of the sides instead of the mouth, eye stalks, and teeny tiny little dainty legs instead of the giant ones that the regular has. Just giving it Guzzlord's colors now. And everyone say hello to Guzzlord, the famished Pokemon, a dark and dragon type. Guzzlord will try to eat anything it can get its hands on, from the rocks and coral in its habitat to other Pokemon. The Pokemon on its top of its head protects it from attacks from above, and is a second set of eyes for food. Instead of Beast Boost, I gave it, believe it or not, Gluttony. Instead of this huge, world-eating black hole kaiju, it's just a little crab with a big appetite and a little friend on top. This mon was essentially just simplifying Guzzlord. It could probably even work as a pre-evolution. Next, the absolute hardest one to redesign was Xurkitree. Good heavens, I had to draw out concepts on paper about a dozen times before I had a good idea, and even then it's not even a 100% one. So here's the idea. Its legs and arms made me think of octopi tentacles. Then I got thinking about the Christmas light-looking things and realized that they could be bioluminescence. So I got to work. Just like all of the others, it starts out with a basic idea of its shape. Its tentacles are a little hard to see right now, but they'll be more obvious in the final result. Just adding a bunch of tentacles, the little spark things around the head are gonna go away in the final design, except for one on the neck. Just giving it Xurkitree's design, and here is Xurkitree, the luminous Pokemon, an electric type. These Pokemon live only in the deep ocean. The glowing parts of their bodies are charged with electricity and can paralyze with a mere touch. This is primarily how it hunts. For this, I decided to give it static instead of beast boost because it's the basic electric type ability. As you can see, it is indeed based on deep sea octopi, specifically the big fin octopus. Goodness, I'm just glad this one's over. Let's just move on. Final Ultra Beast I'm designing today is Stakataka. Now, like Xurkitree, this one was difficult, but for different reasons. Xurkitree was hard because I couldn't come up with a concept. Stakataka was hard because it had too many concepts and I couldn't decide. First I did a giraffe because of the long legs and the eyes look like spots, but a giraffe has nothing to do with its typing and looked too different from the original Stakataka. Plus I wanted to keep the Star Wars trash compactor concept. Then I made it a termite nest. It looked more like the original Stakataka and could relate to its typing, but ended up looking more alien than the original, which is the whole point of this video. I finally ended up keeping its original building inspiration. After all, if Duraludon's in a building, why not make another one? With, believe it or not, the basic shape for Stakataka, except it's just a couple of rocky slabs instead of bricks. More legs and 2 eyes instead of 1 to make it more friendly looking. Also to balance out the goofiness with the weirdness. That's the problem that most people have with Ultra Beasts. They look too weird. They don't look friendly enough. And that's the whole point of Pokemon. They're supposed to be your friends. Anyways, it's just giving its Stakataka's colors now. Pokemon. Rock and Steel type. Stakataka are mostly docile, burying themselves underneath the ground, feeding on minerals. In reality, is a hollow rock filled with tiny organisms working as one. I gave it sturdy, not only because it's the generic rock and steel type ability, but it also just makes sense for a building Pokemon. It's based on this one specific Hawaiian skyscraper. Alola is Hawaii after all. And I wanted to keep the whole hive mind idea, but I didn't want it to be a bunch of Pokemon working to make one big one. So instead, it's like Power Rangers or Voltron, where they're all working together to control non-organic material. Well, that's it for today. Do you like any of these better than the originals? Let me know down in the comments. And with that, I will see you later.